welcome back. All right, we will find out which player won the die roll. It looks like Timothy was. He's going to start with a Great Furnace and a Goblin something, maybe. I don't know how you got that one view.
It's a wreck. No, is it?
Nope.
No.
It's going to be a one mana.
Did you switch it to this?
I tried to switch it to that. I don't actually know what the original view is. It might be Goblin Tomb Raider. It's the only card that I didn't recognize. It is, in fact, Goblin Tomb Raider. Goblin Pirate, 1/2. As long as you control an artifact, it gets +1/+0 in haste, which Great Furnace is. So
the kind of card that Edward would appreciate.
Yes. So
I think Edward is playing a Furnace Scamp here.
Possibly. I don't actually know very well. Certainly not a Rakdos Cackler. All right.
No.
Nope.
Let's find out.
Cacophony
Scamp.
Yeah, you got the scamp part right.
That's close.
Yes. All right, another attack for 2 here. Spy here for Industry, Mitra's Bauble. All right, Edward blocking here. An early block.
He is going to get to deal a point of damage to any target. He's chosen his opponent and not himself.
He has chosen his opponent's creature, actually, to take it out. All right, we have an Arcbound Ravager. That card is going to be very difficult for Edward to deal with, I think.
Yeah, Arcbound Ravager, the classic Fairy Godmother. Lets you sack creatures, put +1 counters on it, and then you can also sack itself to... It also has modulars, so if it ever dies, it can put all its counters on any other artifact creature, and its sacrifice an artifact can include itself, so it can just choose to do that anytime it wants.
All right.
Edward has a Amped Raptor, which is going to bring up an Earthshaker Kenra, so he's going to get, for 2 mana, he's going to get both of these great 2-drops.
And come in with that Earthshaker Kenra as it makes Arcbound Ravager unable to block. All right. Wait, is that a Mishra's Bauble? That's a Mishra's Bauble, right? Not losing my mind.
That was a Mishra's Bauble.
It was a Mishra's Bauble.
It's a sketch version, so understandable.
I believe looked at the top of Edward's deck, drew a card. Now we have a Tolarian Academy.
Juice up what's happening a little bit. It's going to give him access to
2 mana.
An extra mana there. He's casting...
Both of us are pretty decent at Magic, but even neither of us are...
Is that Twin-Shot Sniper? Or...
It might be Breya's Apprentice. No.
Legion Extruder?
No. Whatever it is, it has haste.
Yeah. It cost him 3 mana. I think it's... Reaches?
No. Not exactly
Krenko?
sure.
It's Krenko. Baron of Tin Street.
Krenko, Baron of Tin Street.
This card's kind of bananas.
Although we did kind of miss what happened with the Arcbound Ravager. All right, both players at 14. Blazing Root Walla. Edward's post-attack play. It is a Root Walla, therefore it has Madness. That much I know.
Yeah, it's a 1/1. You can pay red 1 to give it +2/0 until end turn once per turn, and Madness is for 0. It's kind of just like a cool switch on the Basking Root Walla.
Red to get +2/+0. All right. So
that Amped Raptor.
Skull Clamp. Very, very good card. 2 mana for...
This looks like a Barrowglyph. It's a new card from MH3 Commander,
Yep.
and recently added to the Vintage Cube. That's why I know it. It's a Death Touch Lifelink Tarmogoyf for 3 mana. So for 1 more mana than Tarmogoyf, you get a Death Touch and Lifelink. But also, if it deals combat damage to your opponent, you can mill as many cards as it deals damage and put a creature card from among them into your hand.
Yes, a very, very good card, and also has one of Edward's favorite abilities, Lifelink. I say that jokingly.
Yeah.
Edward is not super well versed against dealing with Lifelink.
He actually kind of is. He has a lot of cards
got-
that rob Lifelink from his opponent.
He's run Skullcrack. I think he's got Rampaging Ferocidon as well, one of his pet cards that he claims he got unbanned from Standard. Nobody can disprove it.
The classic Sulfuric Vortex as well.
Yes.
I think he's got more than that, though.
Dealing with a 4 toughness creature, though, with mono red is a little bit more difficult, though. As most red and most burn is traditionally 3 damage.
Yeah, Barrowglyph kind of gets you 2 ways because, like, it's also like that's not a comfortable card to remove as the red
No,
player.
it's not. It's 3 mana, so you have to have Revolt if you're running Fatal Push. The Lurgoyf text, caring about card types and graveyards. It is difficult. I believe Edward is sitting with a Price of Progress in hand, which is representing 6 damage.
Not bad.
That is pretty good for 2 mana.
And one misstep from the opponent could make it 8.
Yes, Edward is a big fan of Price of Progress. As you can see, he is all basics at the moment, so while Price of Progress is a symmetrical effect, not actually symmetrical. Can you bring chat back up? Can you bring chat back up?
Fredward looks like he's got some fans in the chat.
Yes, he does.
I kind of dig this guy, this Grixis scrap stack.
It's
Got all
not.
the-
It's actually Mardu. I think the Solarian Academy is in there specifically just to produce only colorless mana, functionally colorless mana.
Fair. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no blue cards in.
It's actually just black-red. I don't even see white cards in it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well then,
Oh my gosh.
is it still Edward's turn?
I think it is Edward's turn. I see... I think it's a light up the stage in his
It
hand.
might be Skewer the Critics as well. Light up the stage, Skewer the Critics. I think both of those got similar treatments. All right, he is passing the turn. Didn't quite see what Timothy drew. Timothy also sitting with a Price of Progress in hand.
His does not seem as good.
Yes, the Price of Progress is a little bit worse for him. What was that card? I guess would be he's 2 mana.
That is the
Yes, Planeswalker. This is
Goblin.
the first game of their match.
Tinkerer. It's
That's an old card.
no, it's new. This is the new Goblin Welder, or newer
It looks like an older set symbol, but I might be
Goblin Engineer.
Goblin Engineer.
He just has the retro order of it.
Does it just not have a set symbol in the? Oh, Time Swallower Remastered. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah, this is gonna let him get a artifact put into his graveyard, and then later it can do Goblin Welder type things for 1 red mana, but only getting back an artifact that costs 3 or
Getting
less.
Legion Extruder into the graveyard. A really, really good card. It's
Yeah, this is a big score card.
2 mana, gets to Legion Extruder. Gets to deal 2 damage to any target, and then when it enters the battlefield, and then you can pay 2 and sacrifice a different artifact to create a 3/3 Golem artifact creature. So yeah, it just kind of gets out of hand really, really fast.
Can do some cool stuff.
Yeah,
Especially with Barrow Ghoul milling things into your graveyard if he connects. Or Barrow Goyf.
yeah. It's all right. I'm imagining that there's going. Is it Tarfire?
All right. Edward's going to go upstairs with the Tarfire and then
And
Play with Fire. Both just kind of shocks with Odal upside. Notably, that Tarfire is going to make the Barrow Goyf a little bit bigger.
What doesn't grow dies, and what dies grows the Barrow Goyf. I believe that's how the flavor text goes. All right, and the top deck is a Lightning Strike. Timothy is at 9, mind you, not 6.
It's going to untap. We're going to see a Price of Progress.
For
It's gonna
6,
do
put him to 3.
6, and
sacrifice 2 lands for
Blast.
Fire Blast. And just like that, Edward gets around the lifelink of the Barrow Goyf, not actually mattering, as
I don't. Do you understand why did Barrow Goyf not attack?
I don't know.
turn.
I think Timothy might have been a little afraid of Edward's. Like, both of them are playing similar decks, so
Maybe he didn't want to lose it.
yeah, didn't want to lose it. Didn't want to risk the crackback. It's only like if you equipped the yeah, exactly. Solid spell slinging. It's Edward's favorite thing to do. 4 spells in almost as many seconds. That's
So-
just what he does.
Yep, Edward just telling Timothy that 14 life is not safe. You can't be marked safe at 14.
It is one of the most
at the end of your
terrifying
turn.
things. One of the most terrifying things about playing against Edward is that not a lot of people might think mono red just being kind of a very basic deck, a very like just kind of introductory deck, but there's a lot of play in there. But there's a lot of play in there, knowing when to point spells upstairs, when to take out threats. Like looking at that Goblin Engineer, for example, that's a really, really juicy burn target and a key part of Timothy's deck. But Edward, knowing his deck and his math very, very well, and just kind of knowing to just point everything upstairs. And
I was kidding too. I've always found like these aggro and burn and all of these like fast decks. Every motion you make in the game matters a lot because the opportunity cost of spending a mana on one thing compared to another is always there. The sequencing of it and choosing what order you direct 2 points of damage at your opponent, or which shock you play first can matter,
Yeah, it really can. And this is an easy mulligan for Edward, as there are no lands in that hand.
Yeah.
I believe
doesn't
Timothy
have
is in a similar state.
He does have a play though. You can pyrokinesis.
He could pyrokinesis. Never mind. Timothy has 2 lands in hand. I believe he's got a Lotus Petal, which is also kind of a land.
Timmy's deck looks really cool.
Yeah. Are both players?
Looks like my kind of jam.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a BK
If
deck.
you had that to me and say, "Hey, do you want to play some Canadian Highlander?" I would have a lot of fun that day. I think.
Absolutely.
I really love these new Lurgoyfs, and I kind of want to build a Canlander deck with them.
Just tribal Urgoyfs?
Yeah, Lurgoyf travel. Even if you just play the best 4 that are in the Vintage Cube right now.
Barrogoyf, Pyrogoyf.
Nethergoyf and Tarmogoyf.
Good old Tarmogoyf.
Good old Tarmogoyf.
Make Tarmogoyf great again. Would you run the nest?
Maybe. Yeah. Like
It is an enchantment.
maybe I'll do that next.
How do we... All the Goyfs. Nope, don't want that.
Yeah, I think we
How
have
do
to
we
be in the
moderate that?
moderating.
Valuable Tipper F. Enjoy your time in chat. It's going to be short.
Moderate.
moderate.
Learning
All
how,
right,
Twitch,
Lotus Pod.
how Twitch
All right,
works.
Edward's first play is a Ragavan. Honorary Goblin. A Lotus Petal and a... Is that a Valakut? That's not a Valakut, is it?
On his side, I think it's that arena.
Arena of
the new-
Glory.
yeah.
How did we get a borderless in there? That is Arena of Glory. There we go.
Should have came in.
It did inter-tapped.
Okay.
He inter-tapped and the Lotus Petal were his first play. Nope. Cancel. No. Is it this one? This one? Show my actions. We'll figure it out. All right, Fiery Islet, Edwards play. Looks like there was a Molten Collapse, I believe, that took out the Ragavan. Abbot of Carroll Keep, Edwards' second play of the game. I can play with it.
Okay.
All right, Mountain being exiled with Abbot of Carroll Keep.
Man, I love Abbot of Carroll Keep.
No lands to be able to be played, so...
It's like one of my favorite newer things in Magic is just playing cards off the top of my... exiling cards off the top of my deck and playing them. I'm a sucker for any card that does it.
Ooh, Edward
And a
drew
Black
and
Lotus to
played
the field of play.
Is Black Lotus a good card?
It makes 3 mana. The downside is you have to do something cool with it.
Yeah, I don't think it's very good. It only
It's gonna
adds 3 mana
sacrifice
one
for
time.
3 of some color mana. Looks like
probably
he has
3 red.
chosen red.
All right. Spending 2 of it to dash a Zergo Bell Striker,
Yes.
a much worse Ragavan.
This is why Black Lotus is so good. It lets you play your Zergo Bell Striker faster.
Yet another burn spell. It's not Lava Coil. What is that?
It looks
A redundant 2 mana burn spell, giving 2 prowess triggers to the Abbot of Carroll Keep. So this is an attack for 6 from Edward. And he is now using his last mana to Titan Strength. Mutagenic Growth. Timothy might just be dead here. 5 mana, 5 power plus 4 is 9. Plus 4, 13. There's an attack for 13. And just like that, Timothy is down to 4. Black Lotus was pretty good there. And Ragavan goes
It did
back.
a lot,
or
yeah.
Zergo goes back to hand. That Nile Spellbomb not looking particularly important here. And Timothy might be going down here as it looks like he kept a 1-lander that didn't quite get there.
okay. Maybe sacrifice Black Lotus, dash Zergo Bell Striker as a defensible play.
It is possibly pretty good. But that sounds like results-oriented thinking. We need more. We need more experiences to find out here.
How much prowess did that?
There was 4. We had
Okay,
Black
so he did
Lotus,
4.
Mutagenic Growth, Titan Strength, and that redundant burns. Incendiary Flow, actually. I believe that's what that
I think
was.
it was Incendiary Flow. Good.
All right,
Oh,
and Edward takes it down 2-0. That was fast.
lit him up.
That's kind of what happens when you get
20
2 aggressive decks. And that
20
was
points of life, not a lot.
was
to
that
start
turn
with.
3?
That was 2 matches, 2 games.
No, was that turn 3? I believe that was a turn 3. Edward's first play was play Ragavan. It died. Play 2 was play Abbot of Carroll Keep. Play 3, yeah, that was turn 3. Edward managed to get Timothy to concede there. Technically, it would have taken him until his 4th turn to kill him. But a turn 3 win nonetheless, that'll go down and
Flawless
Yeah.
red play. I saw not a mistake by
Yes.
our hero.
yes, Edward all eyes on Edward as he is.
I hate to show bias, but